Hello, everyone, and welcome to our introductory press conference introducing the 13th head coach in the history of the Hofstra men's basketball program, Speedy Claxton. We are joined today by Rick Cole Jr., our Vice President and Director of Athletics here at Hofstra University, and Speedy Claxton, our new head men's basketball coach. We will start with a opening statement from Rick, and then we'll go to Speedy next. Rick, it's all yours.
Thank you, Stephen, and welcome everyone, and thank you for joining us today. We had, I'm not sure if you all were able to view the press conference announcement today that we had here on Hofstra's campus and the MAC, but it was certainly a special day, filled with lots of positivity and emotion, really good emotion, as we introduced our 13th head men's basketball coach at Hofstra University. It's been an interesting process. We had people ask what kind, people giving a lot of feedback in this search about it's a great job, it's a great place, and it is. We believe Hofstra is a special place with a rich history. We are so appreciative of where the program is, and that's a lot of credit to the history and the institution's commitment, but specifically that to Joe Mahalik and how he and his staff had positioned this program over the last 8 years. Of which Speedy was a major part of. But Joe through on the court, off the court, academically, we've really been very fortunate to have really wonderful young men come here to learn about what it's like to be more of a complete player on and off the court and progress through basketball and in the game of life. So we're really appreciative for Coach Mahalik. His wife, Mary, just a great family, and thrilled that Joe's able to work with us and stay with us as Speedy moves over into that chair and as he can work with us in our leadership administrative team. And then we got to introduce Coach Claxton. And, Speedy's a humble man. That's what I said in the press conference. He is a good man. He's a great man. He actually does have a really good sense of humor once you get there. Once you get to know him a little bit. But what makes it exciting is, as great as our history has been, we're really excited about what the future will bring and what it can bring with Speedy at the helm. When you watch his interaction with his student athletes, I mean, they respect him incredibly. They trust him. They believe in him. They feel that they can learn from him, and he's a living example of what how hard work over a long period of time and how championship behaviors really can lead to really good and positive things. So his reputation, well, as a player, he and a special group of men did some special things here as a student athlete. His teammates are unbelievable. We've gotten to know them, and it's just a great group of men with a great Hall of Fame coach. And that, over that span, that resurgence is here. He had a great professional career, but what really hit home is when when you ask Speedy, you an NBA player, he'll say, sure, but I am a men's basketball coach. That's what I am. And it's his greatest pride. And I think it's his greatest, it's exciting that you get the unique opportunity to get your dream job, because we know he's had other options in the past and chose to stay, and with the hopes of someday being here. And we're thankful that he is, and we're looking forward to great things. Going to do everything we can to support him, his staff, and most importantly, his players. So I'll be glad to answer any questions when you get there, but this is really about Coach Claxton. So I'm going to pass the ball, look for getting the stat sheet and an assist, and pass it over unless, Stephen, if there's anything I've missed.
No, we'll now turn it over to Coach Claxton. Speedy, if you could give us an opening statement about what today means and kind of the taking on this role.
Exciting times, man. I am honored and humbled to be leading this program into the future. Like Rick said, this was my dream job, and this means the world to me today to have that dream finally come true. It's been a long time coming. I didn't know how I would handle a press conference being in this arena that they say that it's the arena that Speedy built. So I knew it was going to be an emotional afternoon, and I'm just thankful that I got through it. And I'm looking forward to guiding these kids on and off the court and helping them become men and ultimately being a great representative of Hofstra University in the future.
Thank you, Speedy. We'll now open up for questions for both Rick and Speedy. If you have questions, please use the raise your hand feature in Zoom. I did see Mark Ernay does not have that feature. So Mark, you can go first. Please unmute yourself during your question.
Thanks, Steve. Rick, if you don't mind, I know you guys were doing a search. How extensive did that search wind up being before you offered and Speedy accepted?
It was quite extensive. It's amazing. I joked at the press conference. It's amazing how popular an athletic director can be when there's a head basketball coaching position open until you're no longer popular. Once everybody, has great suggestions. But to be honest with you, people, the feedback we've got is people really excited about the job, the institution, the league, the promise of how special this place can be. And we had an opportunity to talk to tremendous people, human beings, wonderful people that are great and talented basketball coaches, from sitting head coaches to, wonderful assistant associate head coaches, and from all areas of basketball. And then, every search is about trying to find the right fit at the right place at the right time. And we know we did that. But we were humbled by the interest. And I think that's a lot of credit to the history here. And I think it's a lot of credit to Coach Mahalik and Speedy and the other guys on that staff that have built something special here. They've really done a great job. This is not a rebuild job. This is a job that can be taken, we hope, to even greater heights. And that's our expectations with Coach Claxton, is that we believe we are going to get to greater heights, and that commitment to the overall growth and help and accountability to being the best version of themselves as men basketball players, and raising the profile of Hofstra and becoming their best versions of themselves. I think it's a place that people really want it to be. And I believe that, certainly Speedy is somebody we know incredibly well, but, he understood and valued the process of making sure that we have the right fit for the candidate. We're the right fit for the candidate as well, both ways. So it was a process that was healthy for Hofstra and healthy for identifying our next head coach.
Thanks,
Our
Rick.
next-
Speedy.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry, get it real quick. Thanks, Steve. Is it Coach Craig or Coach Speedy?
Coach Claxton.
Coach Claxton is fine too. When you walked onto campus more years ago than either of us will ever admit, did you ever envision that this would be a day that you'd be the head basketball coach?
I absolutely did. When I signed that NLI, I wanted to go somewhere where this would be a possibility. So coming to Hofstra, I had my mind made up. I was like, I want to go to a smaller school where basketball might not be as big as some of the other places, and I wanted to be, a big fish in a small pond, and then come back and ultimately guide that program. And today's the day. I'm thankful for the opportunity.
Our next question.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Mark. Our next question will be from Jamie Stewart from News 12. Go ahead, Jamie.
Hey, Speedy, congratulations.
Thanks, Jamie.
I just wanted to know how, look, you won an NBA championship, made it to the NCAA tournament. How do you think you will or can relate, obviously being an assistant coach, you've been doing it, relate to the new, younger generation of basketball players as you're recruiting and going down the line? How do you think you're going to mesh with that?
I mean, I think I relate just fine. I've been in the business for a while now, and I think I've done a pretty good job of being able to lead this younger generation and, staying in tune with them. When you understand the group that you're trying to lead, it allows you to be a better leader. And I definitely understand this group. I kind of have kids this day and age, this age, so it makes it easier for me.
Cool, thank you.
Thank you. Our next question will be from Roger Rubin from Newsday. Go ahead, Roger.
Congratulations, Speedy. I have a couple of questions, two topics to really talk about. Let's take them one at a time. The first one is your staff that you're going to build. What are some of the things that you're going to be looking for in terms of surrounding yourself with a group of people in the same way that Joe surrounded himself with guys like you? What are you looking for in a staff? Do you already have some people that are lined up to become part of it?
I want to have vets around me, guys that have been in the business for a number of years. They always say surround yourself with greatness and guys who know more than you. So that's what I'm going to try to do. Guys that can make the job easier for me.
Okay. Is anyone already on board?
No, I don't have anybody signed, sealed, and delivered, but there's a couple of names that I'm thinking of, and I'm going to talk to them here pretty soon and see what they're thinking.
Okay, the second topic that I wanted to ask you about has to do with the changing nature of the college game and recruiting. But because of rule changes and the coronavirus pandemic, there are extra years of eligibility. And it seems like what we're seeing a lot now is colleges are recruiting from other colleges. So this is going to be like kind of a different landscape. How do you intend to address this new landscape?
I mean, you gotta adapt. It is what it is. We've had a crazy year through this whole COVID situation, but life is about adapting. The transfer portal is huge right now, so a lot of universities and schools are looking to build through the transfer portal rather than take a high school kid, because as we all know, at this level, you win when you have older kids. So I think the transfer portal is huge right now. I mean, we got to dive into that, and hopefully we can get a couple of good kids out of it.
Are you concerned at all that people might try to recruit out of your program?
Yeah, that's definitely a concern, but that's when you got to look back at the relationships that you have with your kids. It's almost like you got to re-recruit your kids while they're on your roster. So you just got to try to form good bonds with them, and hopefully they don't get stolen away from you.
Our next question will be from Jerry Beach from Flow Sports. Jerry, go ahead.
Hey guys, I actually have a question for both of you. First, Rick, how obviously any decision like this is tough. In particular, how tough was this one given the role Mike filled for you guys last year, and what was the eventual deciding factor in the decision you made? And have follow-ups.
Sure. I mean, I think if you ask anybody here, we have, we're very fortunate with the quality of men that were involved in our men's basketball program and the coaching staff. And Speedy would say the same thing. And the respect, the mutual respect that everybody has is tremendous, and it is family. So it's always difficult. And Mike's an exceptional coach, and the other candidates we had are exceptional coaches and exceptional people. And we were very fortunate as an institution to be in a space and a place where people were very interested in being the next head coach here. And it's really not necessarily what the others didn't do, to be honest. It's what Speedy does and who he is. And sometimes when as exceptional as Speedy is in many ways, and he's not great at telling you how he's great in every way, sometimes he just talks, but the way he connects, his love for institution in every way. He knows this institution is bigger than him. He knows this institution is bigger than me. It's bigger than everyone, and there's a commitment to putting institution first. It's a commitment to putting the student athletes at the forefront of every decision he makes. It's about trying to stand for something with his program and letting the men know that he works, that he will do everything for them, but he expects them to be the very best version of themselves and to understand there's accountability for high expectation and championship behaviors. So we had a great group, and it's not necessarily what the others didn't do, because we had amazing, amazing humans and coaches. it's really about the right fit and the right guy, and that right fit and right guy is Speedy Claxton. And we're excited about that. And he is a great guy on top of being a wonderful coach and a wonderful man. Like, he's just a good human that's going to make the people around him better, because it's always going to be, what do we need to do to help Hofstra, to help athletics, and to help our basketball players and program really be successful. So I think it's, quite frankly, speaks mostly to what the small separators, large separators, and just the fact that he is the right guy at the right time at this place to be our next head coach, and hopefully for a very long time.
Thank you. And Speedy, obviously you said you want to coach here for 25 years now. What in the last 7 years or 8 years have you learned about the position that you wouldn't have been able to know without firsthand experience?
I mean,
What's the most important thing, I guess? The most important thing you've learned, or things?
I would probably say building a practice schedule. Coach Mihalik, he let us do a lot that a lot of head coaches normally won't let their assistants do. So he prepared us to be head coaches, and I thank him so much. Without him, like I said, I wouldn't be sitting in this chair today. So I just thank Coach Mihalik for helping me become a head coach.
What was, obviously you said winning in 2000 was more meaningful than winning with the Spurs a few years later. What was more meaningful to you, winning as a player, or 20 years later as a coach? And did that mean more? I wondered, because then 20 years of experience, you knew how hard it was to get back there. What meant more to you, player or coach the championship?
I would say coach, because you put so much time and effort into developing these kids. And, at our level, it doesn't happen for us every year. So to see them, take steps and get closer and closer to that dream, and then to finally have it happen, that meant the world to me. I didn't have that much of an impact on the game per se. So I would definitely say, getting there as a coach means more to me.
And lastly, to follow up on Roger's question, he'd said, obviously the transfer portal is a big deal these days. Do you think your experience, having been a guy who did really well here for 4 years and stayed for 4 years, you probably could have played somewhere else, will help you keep guys and recruit players who can stay here for 4 years as the bigger fish in the smaller pond?
The biggest thing is going to be relationships. You gotta build your relationship with these kids night in, night out. Most of these kids, if you're loyal to them, they'll be loyal to you. At the end of the day, that's what it's all about.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jerry. Our next question will be from Mike from the Chronicle. Mike, go ahead.
Hey guys, congratulations to Coach Claxton. Coach, a lot's been said about the work you've done with this team's players over the years. Players like Justin Wright Foreman and Dejure Bowie, helping them develop not just their games, but the characters off the court as well. What has been the key to your ability to lift these players up and help them to reach a new level?
I walked in their shoes, and they know that. So whenever I talk to them, they can wholeheartedly accept what I'm saying and believe it. And that's the most important thing, is that trust factor when you're dealing with these kids in this day and age.
Thank you, Coach.
Roger Rubin, go ahead, Roger.
Speedy, there's one other thing that I was sort of curious about regarding taking over this program. I mean, I think that it's challenging enough to become a head coach, but we have seen lots of college programs bring back one of their greats to become a coach. Now, this year, Juwan Howard did really well with Michigan, but there have been other places where people have fallen short. Clyde Drexler was not particularly successful when he went back to Houston. Chris Mullen sort of hit or miss with St. John's. What is complicated about being of the program when you take it over?
It's nothing complicated. Every situation is different. Sometimes it's going to work out, and sometimes it's not. That's the nature of the business. I strive to be great, and I know I'm going to be great. We're going to win here.
Thank you.
Thank you, Roger. Our next question will be from JP Pelsman from Forbes. Go ahead, JP.
Congratulations, Speedy.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Two-part question. First of all, just to piggyback on what Roger just asked, obviously every coach wants to succeed, whatever program he takes over. Is it though being Hofstra? Is it more personal being your school? Is there more? In a way, is it more personal just because it is Hofstra than if it had been another school?
Did you watch my press conference?
Yeah, no, I know. I'm saying, yeah. No, I saw how teary you were. I mean,
this is everything. You don't think I want to do? You don't think I want to do well here? I mean,
but I mean, even more so than you.
I don't only want to be a great player here. I want to be a great coach, and ultimately be a great leader of Hofstra University. That's what it's all about. It's about my legacy right now. That's at stake.
Wow. And I guess the second thing, again, going back to your days at Hofstra and your days in the NBA, Speedy, obviously you were such a great creator. You've given thought to this throughout your tenure as an assistant. Without giving away state secrets, what you kind of feel like you want this team to be kind of in your image, kind of, up tempo? I mean, have you thought about, what your philosophy is going to be in terms of how you want the team to play?
We're going to be up tempo. We're going to play fast. We're going to get up and guard you. We're going to take it back to the 90s. Like when you play against Hofstra, you're going to feel us. You're going to feel us. And you're going to know you're in for a game from jump ball.
Thanks.
And our next question is from Jonathan Wagner from New York Sports Day. Go ahead, John.
Hey, Speedy, congrats on the selection here. As everybody else said, do you feel that because of your pedigree, obviously with the program, and we all know the history, that's going to give you an advantage that maybe another candidate that could have been brought in that wouldn't have in terms of recruiting over time?
Well, it definitely will help with recruiting. Walking around campus, you're going to see my picture everywhere we go. And it's like, listen, dude, I have the blueprint on how to be successful from this program. All you have to do is follow it. I lead by example, and I will always.
And our next question will be from Mike from the Chronicle. Go ahead, Mike.
So, Coach, obviously it's been a difficult year for all of college athletics dealing with the COVID pandemic. What did you see the coaching staff change about how it operates, and what challenges are you maybe anticipating with the new role related to the pandemic?
Man, you got to roll with the punches. The situation changes daily due to the COVID situation. We just take it day by day and just follow the guidelines, and hopefully we can get back to some normalcy here pretty soon.
And our looks like our final question will be from Mark Ernay from 1010 Wins. Go ahead, Mark.
Hey, Speedy, I'm just curious to know, have you heard from Jay Wright or Tom Pecora and anybody of that ilk? And if so, what did they tell you?
I heard from Coach Wright, Tom Pecora, but the person that shocked me the most that I heard from was Larry Brown. And I actually answered the call by accident. I was talking to a recruit and letting him know how much I wanted him here with me. And that he was my first call after getting this job. So I answered LB's call by accident. And then when I looked at it, it said Larry Brown. So I thought I butt dialed him. So I said, hello. And it was him on the other line. I said, oh, wow, this is a shocker. And he just had nothing but praises to say to me. And he actually said he's going to come to practice. And I mean, it's going to mean the world to me for him to follow my journey and to be a part of it. That was my first NBA coach, and I will love him forever.
Well, on that note, Speedy, Rick, thank you guys both for joining us today. And thank you, media, for joining us in today's press conference. Everybody have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.